I'm BPhife. I got a great video for you. Let's get started. Haha, people, welcome back. Thanks for joining in. If you haven't seen my last videos, go ahead, subscribe, do all that. Like, dislike, feel free. Any kind of feedback is appreciated because, I'm enjoying doing these videos and, I'd like to see what you guys are thinking. Now, speaking of feedback, I would like to offer some feedback to the developers of this game. So I noticed something while I was tuning my irons and my clubs, and I was noticing because I basically the bottom line. If you haven't seen that video, I'm just basically trying to, dial these into my real life distances, so I can play the game as if I was actually playing on the course. Now, I think I found an exploit, and the reason why I say that is because if you're like myself, you're trying to play this game like as if you're playing golf. Now, one of the things I do have to preface before I show you this is because is that with like a game like the PGA Tour or the Tiger Woods franchise, I don't really enjoy those because it's kind of like it's video game golf, and this to me seems a little more simulation golf, and this is why this game particular appeals to me. And if there's something a little more simulation in this, then I might maybe gravitate towards that as well. So for somebody like me that's going to play this game as if I was actually playing golf, this becomes an exploit. Okay, now let me show you what I'm talking about. Do this. Now I have player clubs. Okay, so these are player clubs. Okay, these aren't the tour clubs, and these aren't the regular, standard clubs. Okay, so I would actually hit it a little bit further than that. So, it would be somewhere about 140 or whatever the case may be. Now let's say I was to make the loft go all the way up in the air. Now check this out. Notice that red line. The trajectory isn't really changing, but anyway, we'll just remember that. Now watch the physics for this. I hit the ball basically straight up in the air. That's basically and that's what I would expect. I would expect the ball to go a lot shorter than what I would normally hit. Okay, so that makes sense to me. Okay, what will not make sense to me is when I start to lower the loft and de-loft the club. What should happen, okay, does not happen. Okay, now this is what happens when I de-loft. As you can see, I de-loft the club. Now watch this. Now my normal shot goes what, 130 on this right here. Look at this, 179. Look at this, 185. That makes no sense. Man, I'm terrible tonight. Look at this. This rolls out to about 95, and that was a draw. Look at this. What is this? This is 200, like 200 yards. I mean, this is about what I wanted to show you the first time. It just doesn't make sense. Very few people in the world, I probably can count on one hand, probably can hit a 9 iron 200 yards. Okay, so it becomes an exploit because if somebody knows they can hit a club 200 yards and land it softly on the green, that isn't it as a unrealistic advantage because that would never happen in golf. You see what I'm saying? That would never happen in golf. Now let me show you something. Let's say I were to go to a 4 iron. Here's a normal 4 iron. Right? Here's a normal 4 iron. Look at that. 200 yards. Now this is a difference of 5 clubs. Okay, if you're a non-golfer, and you're watching this, if you have a 9-iron, the difference between a 9-iron and a 4-iron, the lower the club number, the further the ball will go. How am I hitting a 9-iron further than I would hit a 4-iron normally? It makes no sense. That doesn't make sense with physics, right? Because the 4-iron is longer, it's got a lower trajectory, so it's going to go further, or it's going to try to go further. The club, there's just a different. The club itself is different, so it's designed to go different lengths, right? Now, watch this. Watch this. I'm going to de-loft the club the same as I did the 9-iron, and this is where you'll get your proof that something's wrong. Okay, and here's where I can prove to anyone that's just watching this video that it'll make sense. And if you notice, remember before how that red line wouldn't move, because that's supposed to show the trajectory. See how low that shot's supposed to be? It's not going to go higher than those trees right here, right? Bang. And it didn't. See how it hits the ground a lot sooner, and then it rolls out? There's no way to hold the green. Let's say the green was there. The green's only so wide and so long. It's going to be harder to hold the green hitting a shot like that. So you can see how it would be an advantage to hit a 9-iron where that ball still was traveling high and then landed softly and only did maybe 1 or 2 bounces. You see the difference. So the exploit for me, and wrapping this up, the exploit for me is for somebody like myself to go online. Now I know online has been been a problem, and they said they're going to work on that. But if I were to go online and play against somebody, I'm going to play like this is real golf. I'm going to use strategies like real golf. That's my focus. But somebody that says, "Oh, wait a minute, look, I can do this," and they're playing it as a video game, and they're throwing all golf strategies and techniques and physics out of the window, and they're just playing video game golf. It's not an even playing field for somebody that's trying to play golf. And the question here is this, and this is really the question, are the developers trying to have us play golf or video game golf? Because if they're playing video game golf, then it's not really that big a deal. In the grand scheme of things, it won't really be that big a deal. But if they're actually trying to separate themselves from EA and not have video game golf and try to actually be more appealing to the golfer, the real life golfer, and the more simulated golfer, then this is a problem. So and it's just mathematics. It's just simple math is what it is. And I've noticed that it's 5-iron and down. So 5-iron, 6-iron, 7-iron, and down. Those are the problematic trajectories and lofts. So it's just math. I'm sure it's probably a simple fix. Maybe research a little, but the 4-iron seems to be working exactly like I would expect it to. It's working pretty good. It's going low and it's rolling out, and you still don't get your maximum when you hit a low shot like that. You don't usually get your same distance. You usually get a lot less distance because the ball, is a lot closer to the ground. It doesn't travel as far, and when it does hit the ground, there's going to be a lot of friction with the grass and stuff that's going to prevent it from going as far as if it was in the air. Obviously, there's not going to be as much resistance in the air as there is going to be on the ground. So anyway, thank you for your time. And there's also one more issue. Look up to the top left. I'm not sure why that is there. I'm at the range. I am not on the first hole. So anyway, this is your boy BPhife here. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, dislike if you have to. Leave a comment. Tell me whether or not you personally can hit a 9-iron 200 yards.